welcome into this week's episode of Play by Play. I am your host, Andy Horton, alongside my co-host, Sherrod Bergstrom. It's episode number 152, and, well, we're still in baseball season, obviously, so going to talk more Reds, kind of go around the league. We talked buyers, sellers last week. I think we got a few more concrete answers on who are going to be buyers, sellers, so we're going to go and revisit that. We're going to talk about some of the top guys that are going to be available here at the deadline. And then after that, maybe talk a little bit of NBA, since it seems as though most of the offseason stuff is wound down. We haven't talked basketball in a few weeks, so we will get there. And also there is some maybe news in the college football world that we'll get to also. So there's a lot to talk about today. We'll see what we get to, what we don't. That being said, Jared, where are we starting?
Let's go ahead. Let's just start off with baseball. Like you said last week, we kind of went over the list of buyers and sellers and holding, who's going to be in that one. And I can go ahead and pull up last week's thing as we take a look here. Couple people in the holding, and we will jump around the league and see how these will change, because I feel like some teams might move down or up a little bit, but we'll see. And we'll, like you said, we'll talk about the some of the top 50 players who could be on the move and see if that position changes positions for anybody else as well.
Kind of like, I guess you could say, a little bit like the Red Sox did, because they sold earlier in the season with Rafael Devers, but at this point, they're 5 games above 500 and just got done with like a 10-game winning streak. You'd think that they might be trying to buy at this point. So we will see.
All right, so do we want to go around the league and update standings or anything as we get ready to dive into that? Because I mean, we can go off the standings and then go around and move teams as well.
Yeah.
What we think, yeah.
Sure. I guess we'll start in the American League, since they're kind of stacked on top. At least according to ESPN, how it's set up. So the AL East, the Blue Jays, they've taken, they've taken that lead and grown it over the last couple of weeks. They just got so hot. They were in a position where where a lot of people thought that they were going to tear that team down and possibly trade Vladimir Guerrero. And now 17 games above 500. And 3 games above the Yankees for the division right now. They've just gotten on a complete tear, and they've done it by the fact that they have some pretty good pitching, and they got some dudes on the other end that can just spray the ball all over the field. When, like I just talked about, Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette, George Springer from the Astros, he broke a lot of hearts, him and Jose Altuve. Bo Bichette and Vladdy Guerrero, those have been their 2 best hitters this year. And, you know, Vladimir Guerrero not even having the type of year that you would expect from him, because, you know, a lot of people would think, oh, yeah, he's got 25 home runs, right? He's got 13 home runs. But he's hitting a very good 280. He hasn't struck out a ton. Only 60 strikeouts on the year and 60 walks. So he's even right there in that category. That's kind of shocking, because, you know, he's a big guy, takes a lot of big swings. And then George Springer, like I said, he's their 4th best hitter statistically, with 17 homers. But, you know, like, a lot of people thought that the Yankees were just going to turn around and run away with this thing, but that just hasn't been the case. I was talking about their pitching a minute ago. Jose Barrios and Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett have all pitched over 110 innings apiece, and they've all had pretty good seasons, all with 4.1 ERAs or better. And that's not like elite, 4.01, I should say, ERAs are better. And that's not elite, but that's guys that are coming out and giving you good starts. just about every single game. And guys that maybe the Reds were kind of hoping, that they would get something like that from Brady Singer. And they've definitely been a little bit better, a lot of different facets than Brady Singer so far this year.
We talked about the hot streak they won on there. The last 30 games, they're 22-8, including a sweep over the Giants to start, and potentially setting themselves up for a sweep today against the Yankees if they can pull off that one too. I mean, you come out and you sweep your first 2 games out of the second half. I mean, their lead's only, 3? Yeah, 3 over the Yankees. After they finish the Yankees, they go to Detroit for 4, Baltimore for 4, then they got Kansas City for 3 coming back home. So, yeah, they kind of need to get these because Detroit, I mean, we've seen how good they've been this year.
It's just pretty wild, man, because the NL Central was not supposed to be very good, and now the Reds are, 3 games over 500 and are 8 games back?
2, and if they hold on to win today, it'll be 3, but yeah.
And they're 7 games back, or 8.5 games back.
8.5 from the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's...
And wild card, I thought it was 4? 3.5. 3.5 back of that one. So, yeah, the Blue Jays are, I kind of think as we jump back over to them, and let me find them on here, I kind of feel like they've got to stay in that buying mentality. Like you said, they definitely need to probably get another bat in there for down the stretch going into the postseason.
Yeah, because they've been able to get things done so far, but they could definitely use some more consistency there and maybe get, I don't want to necessarily say a bigger bat because I don't know how much bigger the bats get.
Yeah, I mean, how can you get bigger than Bichette and Guerrero?
Just Vladdy Guerrero specifically. He won the home run derby a couple years ago, right? Yeah. So, but that being said, they could definitely be they're a team that I would expect to go and add some stuff. And when you look at the top 50 list, if you want to show my screen, top of the list is Gino Suarez, and they're not on one of the teams that they expect to go after him. But you look at Stephen Kwan. Oh, there's the Blue Jays down there. Jarren Duran.
Are they on that one?
They're not actually on that one, which I'm a little surprised.
You're not really looking to trade within your division.
But I suppose that could be the case. But and then you go to the starting pitching. Like I said, they've had 3 pretty good starting pitchers so far this year. But most teams can almost always use extra
You can always
pitching.
use a better one, and you can move your 5th starter to the bullpen.
And Sandy Alcantara hasn't really been great this year. 7.14 ERA so far this year. But he's a guy that a lot of people do like, and they expect for him to be able to bounce back. Oh, there's Toronto. Mm-hmm. Scroll down a little bit.
I'd like to see him go get Lugo.
Seth Lugo.
Oh, there they are.
Toronto. Jonah Duran, they don't have him there, but Emmanuel Clase. I guess they don't have him there either. My bad. But that's right
Bubic.
There for Bubic. There's, they expect for them to be heavy buyers when you look across the landscape. The question is, how many of these guys, are they going to go and they're going to take one
I was about to say, if they
swing
could get
at it?
one bat and one decent starting pitcher, or even a good relief pitcher.
Here at the 11 spot, they got Mitch Keller, and they got Toronto down there. That would be pretty big for them because he's had a really good season so far. You see the 3.41 or 3.48 ERA, and he's also under contract for 3 more years. So they'd have good flexibility, or they'd have him. It wouldn't just be like a rental deal,
right?
And then that'd be, I don't want to say this, but that'd be even better for Pittsburgh because then you'd be giving away a really good pitcher who's under contract for 3 years, so he's controllable, and so then you get better prospects in return, because it's, like I just said, it's not like it's a one-year rental. And then Zach Gallen right underneath, Toronto. Merrill Kelly, Toronto. There's all sorts of guys that Toronto could go get. So, yeah, I would definitely have them in the buyer's market.
Yeah, and if they could go out and get a decent bat and a better and another pitcher, either starting or bullpen, it would be hard to not put them as one of the favorites out of the American League going into the playoffs. Because, I mean, granted, yes, Detroit has the pitching with Flaherty and Skubal and them, but, I mean, if you can just limit yourselves or win one of those 2 games against the Tigers in the playoffs, and you could get a hold of one of their third or fourth pitcher, you can turn a series. So
yeah, I definitely have them there in the buyer's market. The Yankees, definitely.
I think, the Yankees.
We already got them up there. Yeah, they definitely got to stay there because they. We kind of talked about this last week. They are not very happy. A lot of Yankees fans not too happy about the bullpen thing. It could get better, and you know, they wouldn't mind going out and getting another starting pitcher and maybe going and getting an extra hitter, because once you get out of the top of that lineup, I don't want to say that it's no good, but you know,
it's not great.
Very top heavy.
Yes.
When you look at Judge, Belly, Goldschmidt, Jazz.
Stanton's been moved up to the 5th, so I mean, you could even, if he stays healthy, you could maybe start there with him and go down. So, you know, like things kind of, I just know that it seems as though a lot of Yankees fans aren't happy, and that it's like if Aaron Judge isn't hitting a ton of home runs, that they're kind of struggling. And so you got to go get another bat, and then probably they're in the same market as Toronto, another bat, another pitcher. Yankees case more bullpen than starter, I would say. Yeah, for sure, because Rendon has been fantastic for them all year. Max Fried has been, actually, I guess his numbers are a little bit better because he's pitching to a 2.43 ERA. But they've both been phenomenal, pitched almost identical innings. But then when you go past them, they've both pitched 122, 124. After that, there's a pretty big drop-off to Will Warren, and his ERA is almost 5. So they would definitely like to go and get another starter, help them out. But yeah, a lot of what they would want to do is also in the relief area, because is that Leiter right there or no? Yeah, Mark Leiter. He seems like he's been good for them in stints, you know, but he's also, his ERA is 4.5. They got Luke Weaver there, who he's actually had a pretty dang good year, and Fernando Cruz. He's pitching to an ERA of 3. That Schlittler kid hasn't been bad for him in his 2 starts that I've seen, too. Was it Corey? His ERA is 4.5. Oh, then he must have got rocked in a game I didn't see. Let's see, because they had some, Garrett Cole and Clark Schmidt are both out for the season for the Yankees with
That's right.
Tommy John, so that's why. Because I was like, you didn't say a name, and I was like, well, they had a bigger name, and that's Garrett Cole now with Tommy John. And Clark Schmidt, he had pitched their 4th most innings, you know, and he's been out for a couple weeks before the All-Star break. He was having a really good year at a 2.3 ERA. So yeah, they'll be on the moves looking for. Because if you can go get a starter and you could limit their bullpen use, if you can get a starter that can go 7 innings, then that'd be even better for them. But so, yeah, I think we're in agreement to keep the Yankees in the cellars. didn't really. I mean, hit it a little bit. Boston, I think Boston's got to stay up there.
But I would put them in buyers sellers because they're one of those teams where they're in an interesting spot.
Right,
where,
like you said, they just won 10 in a row, and they hadn't made a move yet. They kind of already made their move getting rid of Devers. So they're they don't have to make a spot, but, you can always use another pitcher.
I would also go back to the board and put the Reds in that situation because...
Oh, I thought we were going to wait till we got to their division, but I can move them down already.
Yeah, let's just do it now because this has been such a frustrating year for Reds fans, especially, if you're watching most of the games like I am, which actually, by the way, leading 5-0 over...
I got it pulled up in the corner.
Over the...
It just went final.
5-0.
Hey, the Reds still the only team not to get swept this year.
The Reds the only team to not get swept this year, and Nick Lodolo just completed a complete game shutout.
Oh,
105 pitches, goes all 9 innings.
I did not think Lodolo had the ability to go.
And that's huge. Definitely makes me feel a heck of a lot better than I have over the last couple days. But that's so big because Singer did not have it at all a couple of days ago and had to overuse the bullpen to get out of that game. And so for Lodolo to be able to go and get it done with no help, he's a guy that's kind of struggled. He's struggled his whole career with injuries and just being able to stay healthy long term. There's a couple of times last year where he missed time because of blisters, and talk about frustrating. I don't have to listen to the game anymore, so turn that off. Yeah, what a game by him. Phenomenal. But anyways, specifically when you take the last 2 weeks-ish into consideration, things have been so frustrating because, the Reds, before that little 2-week spurt, were playing a bunch of really good teams and won series after series after series, and we're trending in the right direction. And then you play some teams that aren't that good when you talk about the Marlins and the Rockies right before the break. And then you come out and you win 2 out of 3 against the Mets in one of the toughest stadiums to go and win games at. They got a great home field advantage this season. They are 36-16 at home. They dominate you when they get you there at Citi Field. And the Reds took 2 out of 3, and we're looking good. And then you go into the Nationals and you lay an egg, drop 2 out of the first 3. I wasn't really upset about the first one because you ended up scoring 8 runs, made a couple of comeback attempts, but when you give up 10, it's really hard to win any game, but you like to see the fight. And then yesterday, Chase Burns, I got it. It's pulled up.
I was about to say, we're just going to go straight to the Reds now?
Man, yeah. We're just going to skip to the Reds, and we can go back to other baseball later. Let me make it a little bit louder. He was fantastic yesterday. This is just a couple of them.
Yes, third best in Major League Baseball, and that's why he got a dose of some sliders. Had a 1-2-3 first inning, and swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Burns.
He's got great movement on his slider.
Swing and a miss, and down goes.
He's lethal.
I don't think that one ever started in the zone.
I think it was maybe...
It would have touched the far corner if it did, but... Oof.
And some of these swings are just dumb, like swords. But he just makes them look goofy with all the movement.
Mm-hmm. The Reds have got to keep him, and he's got to stay healthy. Good Lord, that one...
But he has a game like this, and he starts to struggle there at the end of the. He let up a couple of runs. I think a run or two in the 4th, and then things got really ugly in the 6th.
Yeah.
and he was almost able to work out of it. And then, like, he had, I think it was a strikeout first, and then a guy bounced out right back at him. He picked it up, threw it to Stevenson, and then they let one, he gets hit, one goes into the outfield, and it should have only scored 2. Stevenson lets the ball go between his legs, it scores 3, and you just give up, what was a really good start by your rookie pitcher. They just blow the door open, and you don't really ever have a chance after that. It's so frustrating. And, like, I've been a Bengals fan, a Cincinnati sports fan, my whole life. You know how many times I've seen Bengals teams, like, go in against teams that they shouldn't be able to compete against and either beat them or make it a really close game, and then turn around the next week and play Cleveland and put up an egg and just get murdered. It's like, it's so frustrating sometimes being fans of teams from Cincinnati, because there always seems to be, maybe not always, often, because it even happens now with Zach Taylor. Like, there's games where the Bengals should just kill these teams and they just don't get up for them.
Right.
Like, they get up for the really good teams and they look good, but then it's like, yeah, when the bad team comes into town, they just, like, take it easy and think it's a joke, and then they
struggle.
Then you miss the playoffs and stuff like, because that's the difference between Detroit and the Reds. Like, yes, is Detroit in the midst of possibly getting swept by the Pirates?
Yeah,
sure.
6-1 in the 8th.
Sure, but, like, that doesn't happen often. It feels like every time the Reds play bad teams, they just lay eggs. Mm-hmm. And it's just so frustrating. And so, like, I'm of two minds with this Reds team, because I'm like, there's no way that they're going to be able to win enough games to make the playoffs in this ultra-competitive NL Central and NL wildcard race. But then when you look at it, it's, hang on, where's the standings? Sorry. But then when you look at it, they're only, it's 3 games back now?
Yes.
And, they got a lot of games against these teams that are above them. And the difference is, these are good teams, so it's likely that the Reds will actually play well against them. So, like I said, I'm of two minds, because the Reds could maybe do what would be the smart thing and, sell everything that isn't nailed down, like, that isn't nailed to the floor. Like, So is
that Ellie and Hunter? Those are the only things nailed to the floor?
Nah, because you don't want to. You're not trading, like, all of your good young players. But I'm saying, like, Hayes is on a 1-year deal. Martinez is on an expiring contract. Rogers may be on an expiring deal. I don't know if the Reds want to keep Stevenson, but frankly, if
we get something good for him,
I'm not opposed to trading him.
Right.
Let me think. Who else is, like, on an expiring contract? Because I'm good with getting rid of most of them.
Is that why he was on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you said
Pagan is on an expiring deal, and I really don't want to get rid of him.
Right.
I like Emilio Pagan, and I like Nick Martinez. I think they've both been pretty dang good for the Reds this year. Martinez had 1 or 2 really bad starts. Outside of that, he's been fantastic. And I don't want to necessarily get rid of all those guys, but you can't just let them walk. You got to get something back in return, and that kind of is the difference between the Reds and a lot of better franchises, I guess you could say. Like, they'll trade away guys that fans like. Barlow, he's on an expiring deal, and I think a lot of teams would like him because he's been really good for Cincinnati this year. come in and he's won in a lot of, and he's pitched a lot of big innings and a lot of big spots. So I don't know. It's rough, but yeah, you're definitely more on the verge of selling right now than what you were 3 days ago, in my opinion. Because 3 days ago, you just won 2 out of 3 against the Mets coming out of the break, and you're trying to do something. Now you're 500 coming out of the break, and I've been saying the Reds got to win 10 out of 15.
Well, we've lost 3, so you got to win 12 more.
Yeah, 12. You got to go 12-2 to really have a legit chance, I think. And when you look at the record, when you look at the schedule, in the next 12, yikes.
Above 500, above 500.
Well, let's be clear. Tampa, L.A., Atlanta, Chicago.
Those are all home. Well, Chicago's not.
Tampa, L.A., Atlanta, Chicago. And the one Atlanta game really isn't at home because that's the sub. Or the,
oh, that's
the,
right.
What are they calling it? The
Speedway
Series. The Speedway Classic. Okay.
If they call it a series, it's stupid because it's only one game.
Oh, there you go. The Speedway Classic. You know, there's definitely places where the Reds can make up the ground in here when you look down the schedule.
I'm looking at right in the roster or divisional games for sure.
But they got to start making hay right now, and the beginning of this Washington series doesn't give me much hope.
So the Reds have 7 games left with the Cubs and Pirates and 6 left with the Cardinals and Brewers. And every game from the 15th on of September is division.
You gotta think you gotta win 65% of those. So I don't know. It's possible, but there's a lot of things that the Reds are gonna have to do to make me think that it's actually going to happen.
As of right now, the Reds only have 5 series this second from here on out against teams below 500. And that's Atlanta, Pittsburgh twice, the Angels, and the Diamondbacks.
The A's. You got an A's series in there.
Oh, and the A's.
At least one.
Yeah. Like you said, they gotta beat the teams that they should beat if they want to have a chance.
But all right, let's go back over to the buyer-sellers thing. See if we can get some of these teams in the right spot.
There we go. All right. Well, let's just finish out the American League East. We have those 3 done. Tampa. If Tampa... I'm going to move Tampa up here.
I was going to say, because they're a team I've already kind of talked about, thinking they could be buyers and sellers.
And Baltimore's going to stay down here and selling.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Definitely, I would put them there.
All right, next one in the American League. Or do you want to just do the Reds division since we kind of talked about it a little bit?
Yeah, let's just do the AL Central.
Okay.
We can do that.
Tigers.
Yeah, definitely buyers. Their fans think that they need a bat and maybe some extra pitching because, well, we've said it multiple times in the last couple weeks. Everyone can always use more pitching everywhere. I do like the back end. I do like a lot of things about their bullpen. Got a lot of good players there, but yeah, you can always add. You can always add something. So,
let's see who. Cleveland. I think they're sellers.
Yep. They're another one of the teams that when you look at the top 50 list, they got
quite
guys.
A few.
Yeah, guys that are littering the top 50 list. When you look at Cade Smith, Emmanuel Clase.
Kwan was up towards the top.
Yep, Steve Kwan already went past him. They got a couple more guys on this list.
I can just go ahead and move the White Sox. We're going to keep them in the cellars, and I think we got to keep Kansas City down.
Yeah, I would say yes about both of those. My only comment about the Rockies is I don't know how much they actually have to sell. Some people think that Ryan McMahon is a guy that people will want to go after.
We weren't talking about the Rockies.
Oh, who'd you say?
White Sox.
White Sox.
And Royals.
I'm sorry.
I was about to say, we'll get there, Andy.
I'm sorry. It's just the teams are so bad. I just misheard the wrong one. Yeah.
And then I think the Twins got to stay down here too.
Yep.
Because I still think Buxton's going to be one that's going to be gone.
Definitely, maybe.
I was one that was like, if the Reds could get him, that'd be great. But I don't know how much of his deal's left, or would it just be a half-a-year rental? I don't know.
No, he's got like three-ish years left.
Okay.
He makes about $15 million a year. Now, I'm a big Byron Buxton fan, but my problem with him is he's never really been able to stay healthy. Like, I'm pretty sure he's never played over 100 games. But yeah, they're definitely on that list because there's Jonah Duran, and then Jax Griffin, like you said, Byron Buxton. A lot of people think they may move on from him, though I'm not sure because he is a big fan favorite up there. And so I could see them not moving him, especially because how much longer they do control him. But then Will Castro.
He's played in 140 games as his most in 2017.
Oh, really?
But before that, he's only played in 100 games one other time, and that was last year.
Okay. So there you go.
Let's see. So that does it for the American League Central. So AL West. Do we have anybody in the AL West up here buying? That would be Houston. Houston, I kind of feel like they're kind of in that spot where it's like they have a comfortable lead, like they don't really have to do anything unless Seattle hasn't tightened it up, have they?
I think they're 5 games back.
Okay, so that's not too comfortable.
But also, it's one of those things where I expect for them to add, just because you never have enough. And am I tripping, or did Isaac Paredes maybe just get hurt? That's big.
So you got that. Let me pull up the standings, and I can show them while you're looking that up. You look at the AL West. Houston has a 5-game lead, 7.5 over the Rangers. Angels just 2 games under 500, keeping it, but they're 10.5 back.
He just he's got a pretty significant hamstring injury, from what I'm reading. So yeah, I would expect for them to go after a bat, because you never know what's gonna happen with that.
Mm-hmm. So they'll be up here in the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Get over there.
And then
Mariners. I think the Mariners, they got to do something to keep
Seattle. Yeah.
Hold with them.
Well, and that's another thing where they just need more offense. They
could go and get Suarez or Kwan.
Yeah. No, and that would help them out a lot. Like either or both. Shoot. That team would be wild if they got both.
Texas. Where's the Rangers?
But also, the question with either of with going and getting those guys, you're gonna have to give up a truckload. Maybe not a ton for Suarez, but he's got 35 home runs. But Kwan has still got like years of controllability. So you know that it would take a lot to go and get him.
Rangers, I think if they're going to make... Let me look and see what was their standings. They are 7.5 back. I'm going to move. The Rangers have got to be buyers if they're going to try to make a move. But Yeah, if they want to make a move, they got to be buyers, but I don't see them being big buyers at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to move them down here into the buyers sellers.
Yeah, maybe that's a little more realistic. 'Cause I just don't know if they got what it takes to make a run.
Mm-hmm.
They do got, some dudes, some really good players, but they're not really popping to me this year.
Let's see who else is in that division. Angels.
Definitely sellers. Got guys like Taylor Ward. That I wouldn't be shocked go on the move.
Angels will be sellers, and I think we can keep. Did I lose one? The A's are going to be. Well, the A's I think are going to hold. I don't think they really have a lot that they're looking to move on from. I mean, how many years in a row have they said, oh yeah, Rooker could be on the move if we like something that comes along. That's been at least 2 or 3 years now. So I don't feel like they're really moving on from anybody unless the right one comes along.
I don't hate that. I don't necessarily hate that.
So that does it for the American League.
That looks about right.
All right, now on to the National League. So that's the National League East is up top.
Yep.
So I think you gotta. You just move. Can I move them down? No. So we'll just keep the Mets and the Phillies up here. They both got to stay up atop there in the National League East. Let's see who else. Washington. I think Washington. Not necessarily. I don't think they're going to be selling. I think they'll just sit where they are because, outside of was it Abrams? Was I reading that could be on the trade deadline?
I would be shocked if they did that. But they do got guys like Michael Sorka that they could move. So I don't know. I could see them moving because it's not just him. Who is the other guy? There was somebody else that I was. Are they the team that's got Finnegan, or is that his name? Kyle Finnegan.
Yes. Yes, they are. All right, then we'll keep Washington down here in the sellers.
And he hasn't had a great year so far this year, but he's got a history of being pretty dang good.
Who else is in that division? Mets, Phillies, Nationals. Marlins, they are staying down here in the sellers.
Yep. And I would also keep the Braves down there because.
Oh, I forgot about them. Yeah.
Are they really going to try and move on from a ton? I don't actually think they are, but
right.
Marcell Ozuna is one that I've seen a lot. He could be, a hired bat.
Right. One of these playoff teams could go get him for half a year. Oop. All right, so now that leaves us with the National League, or do you want to do the East or West and then come back to the Reds?
Let's do the Central.
All right. Cubs, Brewers, I think they got to stay up there to see.
Cubs are going to go after pitching. Brewers are another team. I think they're going to go and get a bat. Mm-hmm. It'd be crazy if they went and got Suarez. I would hate that so much.
We kind of talked about the Reds and moved the Reds down here to. They could be buying, they could be selling. We don't really know. And I'm going to move St. Louis up here too. Because, we talked about it, like if they were in an egregious spot where they were just so far out of it, they would be sellers. But, they're still within striking distance. They are, what?
Half game back of the Reds.
In the wild card?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're 3 games out, so I think they're still in a position that they're going to maybe try and maybe add something
See, I don't think that they're going to think about adding. I think they're going to come to the conclusion very soon that they're going to blow things up, because at some point they got to start over. And, you know, they've been a lot better this year than what a lot of people expected. But, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, because they got 7 out of their next 11 against San Diego, and then it's Dodgers, and then the Cubs. So, and the trade deadline is what day?
31st of July.
Yeah.
So next Friday?
Next Thursday.
Thursday.
So I guess we'll see, because they got 4 games against the Rockies and the Marlins before then, and 4 against San Diego. So I guess they could go on a little bit of a run.
If they win 80% of those games, I think they might.
So you're saying 6 and 10?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not quite, but I said 6 and 10. I would say 6 out of 8, 6 and 2. They might. I don't know. Because I feel like they do got players that other teams would like Nolan Arenado could be a good add to a playoff team, and like Ryan Hensley has been a really nice reliever so far this year. And teams like the Mets could always use extra relievers. Yeah, I would be shocked if they did any adding. And shoot, there's got to be a couple other relievers on their team that I'm just not thinking of, because they don't have great starting pitching. So the fact that they've won so many games is kind of shocking.
Right, outside of Sonny Gray, they don't really have that really great of a starter.
Pirates, definitely going to be sellers.
Yep. And then that leaves us with the National League West, which this division is always so close and so... It's like you don't know what they're going to do. I mean, the Dodgers and the Padres look to be like the two that would come out of there, but the Giants are right there on their heels. They made that big move with acquiring Devers, so I think I can kind of say the Giants are at holding, because they already did their move, going and getting him. But I mean, the Dodgers could use some bullpen help, and the Padres can always use another bat. And that leaves the Diamondbacks there. I mean, when you got 2 out of the top 5 on the trade with Suarez and what's his name?
I wouldn't say 2 of the top 5, but I mean, a lot of, they got 4 names that have been thrown around a lot, specifically when you talk about Suarez, Naylor, Merrill Kelly, and Zach Gallen.
Naylor was the one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, and those 4 guys specifically have been tossed around a ton in trade talks, trade rumors. So, yeah, they definitely got to remain there.
And the Rockies, not necessarily, I don't really think they have a lot to offer.
Yeah, that's what I got ahead of myself a few minutes ago. Where'd he go? Did I accidentally close it out? I might have accidentally closed it out.
But yeah, so they're where we think teams sit going into the last week before the trade deadline, next Thursday. So we will probably revisit this again next week, see if any moves have been made by then or not. Because baseball doesn't send it in like the NFL, where you're going to get 20 minutes before the final hour. I mean, baseball, they come in spurts, and it kind of is a domino effect. Once one goes, then they'll start making their moves. So
we will see what all
I'm kind of surprised nothing else really happened after the Devers thing. I mean, because that was a big piece moving, but nothing else is really...
so early.
Yeah.
That's so early.
But there we go with the MLB portion of this show.
We didn't talk about the Reds' next 10.
Next.
Or I said next 10. Next week. Don't laugh at me, Jared.
I won't. Schedule. Well, we kind of talked about who they play. 1, 2, 3 with Tampa and 3 with...
The Dodgers.
So we only get to pick 5 because the Dodgers one will be after.
Yep,
our
a
show
night
next
game.
week. So you said the Reds needed to win 10 out of 15. I think the Reds got to win 4 out of those 5.
Yeah, I'm actually at the point right now where it's like I said 10 out of 15 before the break. We'd have to come out and win 10 out of 15. And I'm kind of at the point right now where it's like we probably gotta, you don't want to say sweep both of these teams because they're both really good teams. Mm-hmm. But you got to start making some serious hay. You got to do it quick. 3 games up at this point, right? Yep, because we hung on. 85, 86, 87 games might not be enough to make the playoffs in the National League. You gotta start putting them together. Got to do it quickly. And considering the Reds have not been great in division, got to start doing it before the division, before we get to the division games. Because if the Reds somehow go, 8-2 in the next 10, and you're 9 games above 500 going into the division, to that divisional stretch.
On the road, too.
You don't want to go 500, but if you're able to get out of it at 500, you're feeling okay. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I was about to say, you calling for both sweeps?
See, but the problem is I don't actually think that's going to happen.
Right. What do we got? Martinez against Lytle, Abbott against Peapot, and Singer against Baz.
I'll go 4-1. Try to be optimistic.
That's what I said too.
But we need a 5 or a 6 game win streak to give this team something. It's got to happen sooner rather than later.
Yes, it does. All right. Where are we moving on to next? You want to go NBA or you want to go college football?
I guess let's go NBA.
All right. NBA, I think everything's kind of, in the most part, done, you could say, for a while.
Seems to have simmered down some.
So we're going to go through and look at some of the, I guess we can kind of go quickly over teams that, what each team did. Starting with the Hawks, I don't think they had anybody to they didn't re-sign anybody. But, I mean, signing or trading, acquiring Kristaps, if he can stay healthy for him, that helps them out. Luke Kennard, he's just a 1-year deal. But signing Nickel Walker as well for them.
Yeah, they're one of those interesting teams where, considering that Boston is going to be down and Indiana is going to be down, when they go and they add guys like Jokic and a great shooter and Kennard, they've already got guys there like Dyson Daniels and Risha Shea's starting to get better. Add Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You add all those guys in, maybe they can make a little bit of a run. I don't like the fact that they weren't able to hang on to some of these guys like Claris LeVert. So that kind of hurts. You have to see how they fill in behind them. Mm-hmm. But I think they've had a pretty all right offseason. I definitely think that I guess you can say they take a step forward.
Right. That could take them out of the playing games, especially with Boston and Indy being down. They could be that bottom half of the first. So that'd be the 5 or 6 seed instead of being in the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I would give them a grade of I'll go like a solid B plus or B. Yeah, I think I'll stay at B.
Boston. The key departures, Kristaps traded out, Drew traded out, and Cornette goes to the Spurs in free agency. Still no news on Al Horford yet?
I'm pretty sure from yeah, he hasn't made a decision. I haven't heard anything yet, but
Okay.
it's sounding like Golden State, and I hate that. I really hate that. But yeah, this Boston offseason, I don't know. I guess I'll give it like a B. Yeah, just a B, because like what had to get out of had to get under the second apron in a year that we're not going to be at our best because Tatum's gone for at least most of the season. So getting rid of Drew and Kristaps had to do something, and
Right.
To do it without like really giving up like assets, I thought is a big thing. Luke Cornette, he's a nice player. Did you really want to pay your backup center in a year that you're not going to compete $10 million? So I guess you save that there. I don't know. I kind of feel like B, because it's like they're not
going to be
You're not-
contenders.
Yeah, you're not going to go out and try and build a team in hopes that Jason Tatum will be Jason Tatum as soon as he comes back, assuming he even comes back this year.
Right, because he did that was the second round of the playoffs?
Yeah.
So, I mean, about 2.5 weeks before Halliburton did his, and Halliburton already has been told he's not playing at all next year, even if they do make the playoffs. So kind of in the same boat there. Let's see. The Nets re-signs Zaire Williams and Daron Sharp, added Terrence Mann and Michael Porter via trades, losing Cam Johnson, D'Lo, and Trendon Watford.
Sorry, somehow my thing just got
Bros.
pushed down. You know how sometimes websites will just jump on you?
I mean, I kind of feel like, were they in the play-in tournament last year? Or were they just out of it?
So, yeah, they were pretty out of it. Why did it just do that again? That's so annoying.
Oh, yeah, they didn't win 30 games last year.
So, yeah, the big thing for Brooklyn was they picked up a couple of first-round picks, one in the Kristaps trade, which I don't exactly remember how that happened, but, NBA teams, they add extra teams, and somehow they get extra picks in some form or fashion in different trades. But so they were able to pick up one there, and then when they traded or when they traded Cam Johnson for Michael Porter Jr., they got an unprotected 2032 first rounder from the Nuggets, so that's huge for them. I think that they got worse as a team because I like Cam Johnson better, but they're in a weird spot where they just kind of seem. I don't know what they're building exactly right now, and maybe they're just building draft capital.
Okay.
Because I don't exactly know what's going on with them. They didn't go out and try and do a ton of stuff, and they did lose a fair amount of talent. I feel like when you talk about Cam Johnson and D'Lo, but it's not like those guys are really giving you direction and
Right.
So yeah, I don't. You got B plus maybe because they got the unprotected Nuggets pick. So that's nice for them.
Hornets re-signed Trey Mann, added Pat. Damn thing jumped. if I can find the Hornets again.
Pat
Hold on.
Connaughton.
There we go. Pat Connaughton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mason Plumlee, Colin Sexton. Departures, Vasilji Mikic, Jusuf Nurkic, Josh Okogie, and Mark Williams. I don't know if I said those names right at the top or not. I mean, Charlotte's another team. Where were they at? They didn't even win 20 games last year, so.
But I think that this could be a super interesting offseason for them because they go and they get Colin Sexton and they grab some second-round picks, fun, for Jusuf Nurkic. I guess that was Utah. They were able to get the 2020 or the 29th overall pick in this year's draft, and then first in 2029 when they moved Mark Williams. Or actually, two of the second round picks were for a Connaughton salary dump, and they got one second round pick and getting Sexton in exchange for Nurkic. That kind of gives Lonzo an extra, another guy to more experienced guard to be able to play with. At least the internet's working this week, but the web pages are jumping around on me like crazy. So now Colin Sexton, Lonzo Ball, McCall Bridges, they still got just a smattering of talent. I'm not 100% sure how it fits together. Con Knipple, I do like that draft pick because I'm a fan of that guy. So I feel like they'll be better than they were last year, maybe a little bit, but I don't know how. Dude, what is wrong with Bleacher Report? It just keeps jumping like crazy.
Oh, I'm on NBA.
I'm on both.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to give them a better grade. I'm gonna go C+. Because they're not in a place where I think they can be good.
Bulls didn't really do anything. Re-signed Trey Jones, added Isaac Okoro, and traded Lonzo Ball to the Cavs.
Yeah, just kind of seemed like they're going to be a middling team. F because of effort.
First F.
F because of effort. There was none.
All right, moving on to Cleveland. Re-signing Sam Merrill, adding Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance Jr., Ty Jerome and Isaac Okoro departing via trades.
A lot of Cavs fans weren't happy about losing Ty Jerome. He was really good for him, but he adds nothing on the defensive end. He might be actually a negative. Actually, he probably is. And he's a good offensive player, just doesn't play a lick of defense. So I feel he's a better offensive player than Lonzo, but Lonzo is a good defender. And when he's able to stay healthy, he can move the ball. He's actually become a somewhat reliable shooter. I like adding Larry Nance's depth there for the front court. I do like what they did. It wasn't like a huge offseason. They didn't, shake the world, but I do like how they did things. B. Yeah, B.
All right. Dallas Mavericks re-signed Dante Exum and Kyrie Irving. Exum. Added D'Lo, got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They didn't use Spencer Dinwiddie as much as what you would have thought. And yeah, this is only shows free agency. This doesn't also talk about the draft. So
right.
Also add in the fact that they got Cooper Flagg. the adding of D'Lo, they're not going to have a good defensive backcourt for their guards are not going to be able to play a lick of defense, but their bigs are already really good at doing that. They're an oddly built team. I guess I'll go B- because I guess they could have done more. But I don't know what else they really needed, and I don't have a B- yet, so I guess they get a B-.
The Nuggets didn't re-sign anybody. Acquired Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway, and Jonas Valanciunas.
How do you not know who any of these players are? He's been in the league for a decade and a half.
I know who he is.
How do you not know how to say his name?
I always have said it wrong. And then Michael Porter and Dario Saric. The stuff above it, no.
So I love their offseason. They get an A+ from me.
Andy, first A.
I think Cam Johnson is a better scorer. I think he's going to be able to do more for him. I think he'll be able to hit bigger shots because that's something that always just seems like Michael Porter Jr. Didn't do. He would hit some big shots in some big moments, but it just felt like far too often he'd come up short. Tim Hardaway Jr. got some firepower coming off the bench. Bruce Brown, hey, that was when the Nets or when the Nuggets were the best Nuggets, when they had Bruce Brown and Brown and the other Brown coming off the bench. Now the other Brown, Christian Brown's not going to come off the bench anymore, but it's always nice to have Bruce Brown back for them. I think he'll be good for them. Valanciunas, a great backup center to hold things down for Jokic. And I mean, who's been their backup center over the last couple of years? Been guys like DeAndre Jordan and just dudes that were far past their prime. And Jonas Valanciunas, he is old, and I would still say, I think you could probably say far past his prime. But
Jordan's still on their team too.
He's more of he feels more like a Al Horford guy, where it's like, yeah, I kind of feel like he could play until he's 100, and he'll just be a really good player, because he never really relied on great athleticism or any. He plays really hard, and that's one of the main things. He plays really hard, good rebounder, and can score the ball every once in a while. You got a center that can do that for a long time, make a lot of money in this league. So yeah, A+. Love what the Nuggets did. Could it have been better? I suppose, but I love it.
The Warriors. They didn't do anything but got rid of Kevon Looney, sorry.
And then maybe adding Al Horford. We'll see exactly what happens with that because it hasn't happened yet. Just makes me sad because I love Al Horford. Yeah, I guess since they don't. I guess they get an F because they didn't turn anything in. They
didn't turn anything in.
They haven't completed the assignment.
All right.
Maybe they did complete the assignment, but.
Houston, probably one of the biggest, or at least the one with teams with the most so far we've talked about, re-signing Steven Adams, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, Jabari Smith, Jayshawn Tate, and Fred VanVleet. Adding into Clint Capella, Kevin Durant, Darian Finney-Smith, and Josh Okogie.
Dorian. Jesus, Jared.
Oh. But they got rid of Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Jock Landale, and Cam Whitmore.
Trying to get there. Jeez. Stupid websites. Who are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Houston.
Houston? Mm-hmm. Where's the Pistons?
Oh, I guess my page jumped. All right, we'll go back up to the Pistons after the Houston.
All right, hang on, because I gotta go down. Okay. So yeah, they had a very active offseason. I think most people know that. I'm just A+. They're another team that I've liked just about everything they've done. When you talk about all the guys that they were able to re-sign, allow them to have great depth. And then the additions of Clint Capella, still a really good player, even though our friend Evan thinks that he's just a scrub that, I don't know, should never be talked about and should have never, ever played basketball because he was just no good, even though he averaged 15 and 10 for like 4 years in a row or whatever. Whatever. Maybe
With James Harden.
There's the first ever 17, right, with James Harden. There's the first ever 17-team trade. It was actually only 7, but still made NBA history to acquire Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith. Love that. Is one of my favorite role players from around the league. Plays great defense, knocks down three-pointers. Had to move on from some guys to be able to go and get KD. And
Brooks and Green.
I don't know why they ended up moving off from Jock Landale. Doesn't really matter. Cam Whitmore, I do like him a lot as a prospect. Hasn't panned out so far. We'll see if he's able to get playing time in Washington and do something with it. I don't know, though, but A+. The Pistons.
Oh, I was going down the next one.
Since Jared just
No, my page jumped.
forgets about Detroit. So re-signed Paul Reed. They added in Claris LeVert and Duncan Robinson. And then they lost Simon Fonaccioni. I know I said that wrong, but I know I gave it a much better. I did much better than what Jared would have.
Fontecchio.
Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe he got me for once. Lost Tim Hardaway, Dennis Schroeder, and Lindy Waters. Don't really know a ton about Lindy Waters. Schroeder, he's a regular season player. Tim Hardaway Jr. We talked about him going to Denver already. But I like the additions of Claris LeVert and Duncan Robinson for them. They were a playoff team last year. And with the hole at the top of the East, I could see them, maybe making something happen.
They didn't have a pick in the first round this year. I was looking at that.
And the Duncan Robinson deal for them, great. They paid less than $17 million for him. And he's one of the best shooters in the league.
All right, now we're down to Indiana. They didn't do anything. Kind of in a season that's probably done for them as well. Like we talked about, Miles Turner goes to the Bucks in free agency. I didn't see that we got Jay Huff. That must have happened in last week. I wasn't paying attention. Re-signed Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman, though. I mean, you giving them. I mean, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to move the needle. So, D minus.
I would just go C, just because they're like, maybe if you want to go C minus, I guess I'm fine with that. Tally's not going to be there next year. They're kind of in a Boston situation. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have to get off all the money.
Right.
So.
Clippers. Re-signed Nicholas Batum.
Batum.
Oh, that looked like an M.
He's been in the league for 15 years,
Looks
Jared.
like an M.
It is.
Oh. And re-signed James Harden. Added Bradley Beal just this past week. John Collins, Brooke Lopez, and when did Chris Paul go there?
Like yesterday, or maybe the day before.
Norman Powell and Drew Eubanks are gone.
So I have to keep my bias against James Harden out of this because I don't like him. I don't think he's a winning player. And he's probably a great guy. I don't mean to say anything bad about him, like personally or not. I don't think he's a winning type guy. So. That being said, I think they had a fantastic offseason. Mm-hmm. They added a bunch of pieces. The question is, it's one of those things, is there going to be too many mouths to feed? Because a couple of years ago, and I'm not saying that it's the same way that it was in Boston a few years ago, but, had Malcolm Brogdon off the bench. It was like every player on the team, it felt like, was like a star. And it just didn't fit well because, like I said, there's too many mouths to feed. So maybe it could be a situation like that, or maybe the Clippers are just going to be one of the favorites to win the whole dang thing next year.
I don't want James Harden to win, so I don't really want that.
Hey, just because they'll be favorites doesn't mean that he won't show up and score 3 points and shoot
10 turnovers in the playoffs.
2 of 15 in a Game 6.
Lakers re-signed Jackson Hayes to a 1-year deal. Add DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart. I kind of forgot about him.
I think the big things, and then they let go of Dorian Finney-Smith. I think the big things is the letting go of Dorian Finney-Smith and adding Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. The big thing for them last year was they had to go and get a big. Well, they went and they did that, and Marcus Smart is a really good defensive guard, all right two-way guard, but you can always use more defense around Luka, and he's a guy that can defend a bunch of positions and really good player. So, what would I rate it? See, because I feel like they should have also gone out and gotten another big
C+.
And Dorian Finney-Smith, getting rid of him is not hanging on to him is big because I talked about it, really good scorer really good shooter and really good defender that can defend a bunch of different positions, and he's friends with Luka. C.
All right, middle of the road C.
I would have thought I would have said higher, but Memphis.
All right, re-signed Santi Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Cam Spencer. They added KCP, Ty Jerome, and Jock Landale. Let go of Cole Anthony, Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Jay Huff, and Zion Pullen.
Maybe I'm wrong, but this just feels like D or something like that to me. Because they got Cole Anthony in the trade when they traded off Desmond Baines, and then they just turned around and waived him. If you don't want him, I feel like you could have gotten something for him.
Right. Now we'll just let you go.
Because, Cole Anthony scored 15 a game or something like that last year? I'm not crazy, right? That's the guy I'm thinking of?
9.5.
But he's I almost said Indiana. I meant
Orlando.
Well, yeah, he played for Orlando, but in college, he's a Tar Heels guy, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, and he's actually I don't know. He got way less playing time last year, but before that, he'd scored over 10 points a game the rest of his career. And it's not like he's had a bad career either. He's not the most efficient guy in the world, but so yeah, I don't understand. He was one of the bigger pieces that they got in the trade, and they just released him. So,
he's actually with the Bucks.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No, we haven't got down to Milwaukee yet. Did you give it a grade?
I said it's something like a D.
Okay. I hate this website. Miami. Didn't re-sign anybody. Added Simone Fontecchio, Davian Mitchell, and Norman Powell. Got rid of Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, the Norman Powell ad is good. The Heat are kind of another team. I don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go C. I don't want to be too harsh, but
You don't like Miami, though.
that's also very true.
The Bucks re-signed Livingston, Porter, Portis, Prince, Rollins, Sims, and Trent. Added Cole Anthony, Miles Turner, Gary Harris. Departed was Connaughton, Mikic, Dame, and Lopez. Did we even say anything about Lopez joining the Clippers when we... Huh.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I think it's a nice ad, but I don't know, he's old. So how much longer is he going to be
Right.
a real effective player? So I actually do really like what the Bucks did. Is it enough to make them? I mean,
they're going to be
with
a
Boston
top
and Indy
2,
being down.
3 seed next year. I mean, you got them, the Cavs, the Knicks. and that
Yeah,
1, 2,
I guess
3
I'll
row.
go like maybe A-, B+, somewhere around there, because it could have been better, but they kept a lot of the guys that they like Gary Trent, Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter Jr., Taurean Prince, all those guys. And then you add Cole Anthony, which I think he's a good player. Miles Turner, you get a nice, reliable big to be there next to Giannis. And Gary Harris, he's been a good role player around the league for a long time. So, yeah, I think it's a net positive. They got a little bit better. Maybe the favorites in the East next year. Thinking about it.
Could be, yeah. So, Minnesota re-signed Julius Randle, Joe Ingles, and Naz Reid. Didn't add anybody. Alexander Walker, Garza, and Minot. Josh Minot gone.
What, C? C+?
Middle of the road, yeah.
B-, like...
Didn't move the needle a
like they
lot
did what
either
they
way.
needed to do to stay where they are. Like, I don't think they really got way better or way worse. So, oh crap! I didn't mean to do that.
Next is the Pelicans. Re-signed Herb Jones, added Sadiq Bey, Kevin Looney, and Jordan Powell, Bruce Brown, C.J. McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, gone.
Where were we? Because I accidentally exited out of the page.
Pelicans.
Pelicans. There we go. Now I'm in the right spot. Yeah, they'll be a little bit better, but how much? I don't know. Kind of a middling team. A team that I wouldn't be shocked if they're trading dudes away at the deadline. I don't know.
C again?
C, yeah. C-.
The Knicks. Didn't re-sign anybody. Added Jordan Clarkson, and
Gershon Yabusele.
there you go. Didn't lose anybody. Did they ever officially hire Mike Brown?
Yeah.
Okay. I know they was last time we talked about it, they were in the process, but I didn't know if they actually redid it or not.
B-. I like Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele.
And they'll probably be a top 3 seed next year in the East.
But they don't raise the ceiling of the team, really. Maybe a little bit. Maybe because, you get more good depth, but it's not like a big thing.
The Thunder re-signed SGA, Holmgren, Mitchell, Williams, and Williams. Didn't add anybody and only lost Dylan Jones.
Yeah, well, the clock starts for their,
Repeat?
no, for their time on the second apron.
Oh,
Just like that. Just like that. I mean, they gave Shea like at least 50. Chet got around there.
Williams, I think, got 40.
I don't remember what the other Williams got, but yeah, they're over the second apron now. Just like that.
Where are we at next? The Magic.
So I'll go like A, maybe B plus. I don't know, because they didn't have to do a lot.
Right.
Maybe just B, solid B.
The Magic. Re-signed Bonchero and Wagner. Added Bain and Jones. Let go of KCP, Gary Harris, and Cole Anthony. I mean, let's see. Last year they were in the play-in. They could be maybe on the outside of the play-in, so maybe at a 5 or a 6 seed next year.
See, I do really like them adding Desmond Bain because it gives them another like guy who's a bona fide scorer. Give Paolo some help. I would go because I do think they significantly improved themselves.
B plus.
B plus, A minus,
All
either
right.
or.
Ooh, we got to get through some of these quickly. Philadelphia re-signed Justin Edwards, Eric Gordon, and Kyle Lowry. Added Trendon Watford. Got rid of that guy.
Gershon Yabusele.
Yeah.
Philly, they're kind of another I don't know what's going on because they like their best player. I mean, they got two great players when you talk about Maxey and Joel, but Joel is never healthy, and Tyrese Maxey's kind of by himself, and then PG's still there, right?
Yeah, but he just had
He's always hurt too.
shoulder
So,
surgery.
Like, I don't know. So I guess cool. They added to the margins, made themselves a little bit better. B.
Okay. Phoenix re-signed Booker and Colin Gillespie. Added
Gillespie.
Dylan Brooks. Huh?
Gillespie.
Oh. Added Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Nigel Hayes Davis, and Mark Williams. Got rid of Bradley Beal, KD, Tyus Jones, Cody Martin, McKick, and Plumlee.
F. They're just such a poorly ran team.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Portland didn't re-sign anybody, but got back Drew Holiday, Dame Lillard, and Blake Wesley. Got rid of Anthony Simmons and DeAndre Ayton.
So they should have gotten more for Anthony Simons, but like I get they're another team. I don't know what they're doing because they got a lot of young dudes, and they should just be trying to lose and get more young dudes. But they go and they trade for Drew and for Dame, and yet they didn't want to pay Simons, which makes sense. But they didn't get a ton for him. It was Drew and draft picks, right? Not exactly what you would have wanted. I don't know. D.
All right,
D.
D. Because last year they were I don't know, they were only 2 games out of the thingy. The play-in. Kings re-signed Doug McDermott, added Drew Eubanks, Dennis Schroeder, Dario Sarkic, got rid of Jake Laravia and Jonas. I mean, the Kings, now their roster is... So they got Malik Monk, added McDermott, or re-signed McDermott, Levine and Sabonis, so And Fultz, I forgot about him.
And they got. That's Dario Saric was who they got in return for Valanciunas. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, D, because they're kind of spiraling at this point, in my opinion. Like, they got Sabonis, but after trading away, what's his name last year, De'Aaron Fox, I really don't know what's going on there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of in a position where I'm like, oh, okay, well, they were lighting the beam, and now we're on Sabonis trade watch. So they're not going to want to trade him, and just no one would because he's amazing. But at some point, I think they're going to have to.
The Spurs re-signed Jordan McLaughlin, added Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, and Lindy Waters. Departed from Malachi Branham, Sandro. Ooh, good Lord.
Yep, I don't know.
Chris Paul and Blake Wesley.
So I said this when we talked about him from, I don't remember what team released him or whatever. Don't know a ton about Lindy Waters, but it kind of seems as though the Spurs are trying to get bigs around Wemby that can shoot, because that's the common denominator with Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk, and then you just got extra bigs too. So, and both of them, Kelly Olynyk specifically, can handle the ball, pretty well. He's a pretty good passer. Luke Cornett, yeah, I wouldn't really want him to be handling the ball a ton, but he can shoot it some. And then you just got a bunch of big depth.
And I like what they did in the draft with drafting Harper and Bryant from Arizona. So.
Yeah, the Spurs are just growing, man. B plus. I mean, it wasn't like crazy big. Maybe B minus. Wasn't like oh my gosh, they shook the world, but they got better.
Is the Raptors next?
Yep.
Okay. The Raptors re-signed Jacob Podol. Oh, and Garrett Temple. Got rid of Sandro. Don't know. Or added Sandro.
D?
Didn't really do
they're
anything.
not getting better. I don't know what's going on there.
The Jazz didn't re-sign anybody, but added Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and Nurkic. Departed away from John Collins, Johnny Jazang, Colin Sexton, and Jordan Clarkson.
At some point,
Clarkson.
Some point, they're going to try to start winning games again. I don't know when that's going to be. At some point, they're going to. Maybe it's this year because you go and get Kevin Love. He's like a leadership type guy, you'd think. I don't know. They need to put more dudes around Lowry, and they got a bunch of draft capital. I know that's what Danny Ainge is there to do.
Moving on to Washington.
D plus, I guess.
Oh, that was your grade from them. So we didn't even talk about Washington. Washington re-signed Marvin Bagley III, added Malachi Branham, C.J. McCollum, Dylan Jones, Kelly Olynyk, Blake Wesley, and Cam Whitmore. Departed ways from Shattuck Bay, Anthony Gill, Rashawn Holmes, Jordan Poole. What? Why is Kelly Olynyk added and departed? Did they acquire him and then trade him to the Spurs? Okay. And then they waived Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Okay, NBA is trying to confuse the hell out of me. I was about to say, we talked about Olynyk with the Spurs, but okay.
Wait, let me try and figure out which team he's actually on.
Where is Kelly Olynyk? Spurs.
Okay, so he's a Spur.
Okay, good Lord. Got that out of the way. All right. They definitely added a lot of, I guess you could say, role players with Branham and Jones. Whitmore, is he going to start? I don't know. Let me see.
That's one of the most interesting things for me about their whole trade. It's how Cam Whitmore. I mean, he should get a lot more playing time. How that's going to pan out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a ton to talk about with Washington.
No. A lot of moves, but, I mean, moves didn't really move the needle a lot to the positive
They're
for
going to
them.
need for a draft pick or two to start panning out before.
Actually, let me look and see if
start
they
doing
drafted
things.
Did they draft anybody decent? Because they had a Washington. They got Trey Johnson from Texas. That wasn't a bad one for them. And that was their only pick in the first round. So, yeah, not a lot there in the draft for them either. B minus.
C.
C.
Just
All right.
smack dab right in the middle of the road.
All right. So I think that's going to do it for this week's episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Next week, we'll talk about the news out of college football and Memphis being denied for the third time in, I think, 10 years
10
they've
years,
tried to join
yeah.
the Big 12.
Yeah,
So
hey, maybe there'll be more developments on that front. Maybe by that time they'll
Yeah.
be in the Pac-12, the Pac, whatever it
Whatever
is.
you wanna call it.
It's still the Pac-12.
Right.
They haven't changed the name yet or anything. But
So we might look into that, realign our conferences ourselves, maybe see how they go, should be.
Well, if we did that, there'd be lots of changes. Because
I know.
I have strong opinions on how the conferences should be.
Well, we can do that then.
Maybe we talk about that.
But I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of Play by Play. Remember, like the video, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and like the Facebook page. Be entered in the giveaway. And we will see everybody here back next week.